Hey everyone, it's Sherry from Trail Runner's Journey and Wisdom Weekly, where it's real talk about running, walking, and hiking for those of us who are in it for the long game of both life and the race. You know what? Because running fits into life, not the other way around, especially when you get to our age. So, yeah, that was my story this last weekend. I was all ready to go for Crazy Muley, 27 kilometers in the sand dunes in Alberta. It's a fun race. I love this race. This would have been my fourth time there. So looking forward. And I was packed, like, of course, registered, packed, ready to go, excited, en route. And I didn't get there. Nope, I did not. And was I gutted at the time? Yeah, I still am. Let's be honest about that one. I'm still gutted at a bit at it as well too. And what finally pulled the pin was we're about an hour away from home, and a fellow pulled up beside us in a van and said, by the way, one of the tires on your trailer is off the rim. Excuse me. Yeah. One of the tires of the trailer was off the rim, and in all honesty, it was shredded. It was totally shredded. So after my husband changed the tire in the pouring rain, and we looked at the situation, and I says, okay, the other three tires are the same age, and truth be known, we got another 3 hours to go. No, I made the conscious decision to go turn around, because you know what? I didn't feel safe going forward and with the spare on the rim and no spare tire. And, you know, by then my race oomph was gone. It was just like somebody poked a balloon, and the oomph was gone. And you know what? That really bites. It really does, because you think about it, DNS did not show. And there's many reasons of why not to show for a race. And, it could be weather, it could be wildfire smoke, it could be pretty much anything. But DNS is kind of a hard one, because you didn't even get there. You didn't even get to the start line. And DNS did not show. And you think about it, forked out cash for the races. And, some of these races aren't cheap. And you put out the cash, you put out the time, you put out the effort, the training, and you don't even get to the start line. That bites. But, looking back, there were the yellow flags of where this year wasn't my Crazy Muley year. And when I look further back, my travel partner who was supposed to go with me, she canceled. She had other something else come up. Friends of mine that were supposed to be there, they also canceled. But you know what? I'm going anyway. I've been at this race by myself. I'm going there. I know the race director, and there's going to be people there. So I was going anyway. Well, then the week of the race, Wednesday, I wake up and my neck is out of alignment. I'm carrying my head way too far forward. I get it treated, and heat on my neck, and I'm thinking, okay, put the heat on until race starts. I should be okay. Except I wasn't. It wasn't going away. Friday morning when we were during the day, my hip gave a twinge. I was kind of like unsure, but you know what? I'll go anyway. I'll go take it step by step and see what happens. And yeah, that's when a tire blew. And it was basically pretty much the universe was saying to me, dude, have I got your attention yet? Hello. I've been trying to get it for a little bit now. Dumbass, got your attention? That's what the universe was trying to tell me. Does it still bite? Yes, it does. It does bite. So I let the race director know it wasn't coming, showed him a picture of the tire, and yeah, it shredded. So it was a really good message that, nah, dude, you're not going anywhere except home. So the next morning I woke up. Now, I got a question. Have you felt like that, of where you couldn't show up for a race and you felt a combination, you just felt awful. Like it's just a real sense of sadness, disappointed. And that's how I felt the next morning, and almost self-betrayal. It's like, seriously? But there was a part of me that felt relieved, and that was my neck. that I wasn't wearing my race vest. Now, for this race, my waist vest probably weighed around anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds. So I didn't have that on my neck. And my neck actually was quite relieved because of that. And what I did was let myself feel the feels. And you have to do that is let yourself feel the feels. Like if you're feeling it's easy to go, "Oh, yeah, well, but really, are you really feeling that way?" And let yourself feel the feels, because that's the only way it's gonna pass. Is there self-judgment? Yeah, probably. Probably, but, it was I had to really look at the fact that, number 1, I was safe. I didn't have another blowout further down the road or had to wait for somebody to come and pick me up or anything like that. I also did no further damage to my neck. And that is important because it's one thing to get all in the headspace of, well, I'll just, push through it and push through it. Well, there's a time not to. And this was one of them. So treatment continues, heat continues, and my neck is improving, but it's not 100% yet. And here's the real thing is as we get older especially, we have to tune into the fact that the body knows stress. It only knows stress, it doesn't know where it comes from, and it's irrelevant where it comes from. It could come from work, it could come from family, jobs, races, you got races you were just in, goals. It doesn't care where it comes from. It just knows it's stress, and you know what? The body will let you know when it's time to pull it back and when it's time to push. And this time, it was time to pull it back. And there's also another important factor, and to realize I'm not in my 20s anymore. Hell, I'm not even in my 40s. And I can't be young and stupid. So that's the thing, is to really tune into as we get older. We need the time to recover. We need both the time to recover and we need the resources to recover. One of the resources is sleep. The other one is proper nutrition. I read the book Age is Just a Number by Dara Torres, and I highly recommend that book to read. Now, if you don't know, Dara Torres is an Olympic silver medalist at the age of 42 in swimming. And she was there in her younger years, and she was there again at the age of 42 in swimming. And the biggest thing I got from this book was she really put out that when she was younger, it was train, 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 and hammer it. Not at 42. No. One of the biggest things she had to do is pull back on her training and increase the recovery. And she had different modalities of recovery, but yeah, it was recovery. So the thing is, as we get older, we need to recover, and it has to be one of the things in our training plans. Thankfully, I have a coach that recognizes that, and yeah, I have recovery in my training plan. Now, is it easy when you get to a DNS, did not show, and realizing that, yeah, you got to do some recovery? No, it's not easy. But the truth is, there's a time to push and there's a time to pull back. And when we're not pulling back, our bodies will let us know, or a higher power will also step in the name of a blown tire. So, yeah, it's a thing to be conscious of. And when the whole overarching thing, when it comes down to it, number one, I'm not sponsored. I'm not an elite athlete. I'm not a professional athlete. And if you look at it, elites and professionals also will pull from a race because it's not their day. Something's not right. They will pull from a race. So if it's okay for them, why isn't it okay for me? Because it is. It's okay to DNS. It's okay to not show up when the need arises. As I mentioned, smoke from wildfires, that's a reason. The weather's the reason. You're not feeling good that day. And another reason is when you're just, something's not right. I just don't have a good feeling about the race. That's another good time just to save it for another day. Because when it comes down to it, the race will be there again next year. And there's other races as well too, but Crazy Muley will be there next year. And will I be there next year? Oh, probably. unless, but it's to look at this is just one thing, one race in a series of many, many. And oh, and by the way, I signed up for another 3 races. Okay, so there we go. I still have a full race season. It's just that Crazy Muley wasn't in the plans for me this year. I'm sad about it because it's such a fun race. It really is. Just look it up. Crazy Muley in the sand dunes, small race, lots of fun. I can't say enough about it, truthfully. But do you ever have the DNS happen? It's okay. Feel the feels. Feel the feels. Reflect on were there signs along the way that you missed? There was for me. Actually, the earlier ones were something I was missing. The ones that happened race week, I was just being my usual self and stubborn and going, yeah, I could go through it. Until, you know what, something smarter than I was decided, you're not doing that. So when it comes down to it, I was given a recovery block instead of a race block. So I'm taking the time to recover. And when it comes down to it, you know what? That could have been the best thing that happened. Get that neck and T1 area healed. It's had decades of stress piled onto it. So maybe this is the time for it to heal. And to think about, is there anything in your life that you're putting off healing, that you're putting off doing the proper recovery on? Think about it. This may be the time. And for me, it was a blown tire to give the message, now is the time. So think about, when's the time for you? Have you had this happen to you of where you couldn't show up at a race and actually it was the best thing that could have happened? Let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, you know what? Get out there, get some trail. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be a race. Just get out there, get some time in nature and have fun. And remember, running fits into life, not the other way around. See you next time.